Good morning. It is nice to see you all here today. It's been a few weeks since I've seen you. I am Diane Hammerand, and I will be leading the service, and I believe Diana Schneider is doing our words of welcoming.
Good morning. My name is Diana Schneider, and I am the chair of the board. Welcome to our service. Unitarian Universalism encourages an open-ended search for meaning in life and a commitment to asking our values to shape our actions. We are a pluralistic religion that draws wisdom from many sources. We welcome all people into our beloved community of whatever age, race, class, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religious background. We especially welcome those of you who may be worshiping with us for the first time. After service, we normally have coffee hour, but we'll still have open time for a chat, but no coffee. But people are welcome to gather still downstairs in the social hall and chat, but we just ask remain 3 feet away from each other and please keep your masks on. We're in phase 4, so that means that the positivity rate in our area has gone above 3%. So that's when we're starting to get into a little bit more trouble. Hopefully we'll be back to phase 5 at some point, but right now this is where we are. But thank you all so much for coming, and thank you all so much for keeping each other safe. Let's take a moment to greet someone nearby, but also remember spacing and say hi. So everyone may feel welcome. Thank you. Do you have anybody for a spotlight? Okay, I have a spotlight too. Okay.
No, I just worked on my stuff.
Okay.
Because that's all I could manage with everything else.
Yeah. Okay. No, you were supposed to have to build it. You were supposed to send it to someone to make it, but apparently it got misconstrued. So
I didn't hear from anybody, so I just showed up.
Okay. Well, there we go. That's what we got.
At least I showed up.
Yes, I appreciate that. All right, and I do have a spotlight for the 8th principle study. So, again, good morning. I'm Diana Schneider, and I co-lead the 8th principle task force with Amy Key and Anne-Marie Tody. To continue the work we began this past spring in our workshop with Paula Cole-Jones, we are holding study sessions twice per month to talk about what the eighth principle means to our congregation and to each of us as individuals. Our next one will be tomorrow evening at 6:30. You can find the Zoom link in the church newsletter, on the website calendar, or via the Facebook events that we've set up. The 8th principle states, we, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote, journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. At this year's General Assembly, the UUA showed overwhelming support for a statement of conscience entitled Undoing White Supremacy. It passed by 91%. Our hope is that these study sessions will give our members an opportunity to become familiar with the 8th principle as we approach our vote on adopting it this fall. Please join us and watch those 3 sources, the newsletter, the website calendar, and the Facebook events for information on future opportunities. Hopefully you can join us tomorrow at 6:30. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. If you didn't hear me the first time, my name is Diane Hammerand. I think I'm still a member of the church. Some days it's hard to know. We have been in Madison for about 4 weeks. It's an adventure. So opening words today are from FDR. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. In the context, the leader may make decisions based on their own, not based on their own personal fears, but on rational judgment and data good for the whole. And I found the longer quote because it meant a lot to me. It's like, so first of all, let me assert of my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. He went on to talk about how we can't do things just for money, and that happiness lies not in the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. The joy and moral stimulation of work no longer must be forgotten in the mad chase of evanescent profits. And that just made me, when I read all through it, I was like, wow, that was really cool. So we have an opening song. I'm sorry, we do not have a PowerPoint today. Sometimes things do not work out as they're supposed to, so we're going to follow along the best we can. And we will keep moving. Good morning, and I'm glad to see all of you. What is our opening hymn? Because I do not have that in front of me. Yeah? Brian, you gonna help me out? No, okay. Let it be a dance. Thank you. And today's service, if you did not know, is called You Only Live Once.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, fill the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Anyone seen Aubrey? She's downstairs. I was not told. Okay, that's going to be a theme, right? You guys are smiling? Okay, good. We need to keep smiling and keep laughing because that is how we get through days, okay? So that would be me again, right? There's the laughter I've been missing. Okay, I've been in the midst of a move. We prepared for this for months. From my husband getting his original interview was in February of 20 for the job that he got that made us move to Madison. He was originally contacted December of 19, and while he had been in that position that he was in at John Deere, I don't know, he worked for Deere for 13 years. We always entertained offers when they came, but we never thought, there she is. You ready? Well, she doesn't have, whatever. It's okay. I'm just following the normal process. You can do what you like. Oh, hi. I think think it's going to work. So I brought this hula hoop because I thought today, oh, thanks. So I thought we could all, since now we have to distance again, a little bit, 3 feet, so we can all imagine we have like a big rainbowy hula hoop on. It doesn't have to be no fun. It can be fun, right? So what color would your hula hoop be? Maybe it could be like golden, a big golden, hi Riker, a big golden like circle around you, circle of safety. Maybe it could be rainbow colored like mine. What color would your hula hoop be? Your circle of safety? Purple? Yes, love it. Blue? Wonderful. Ooh, black. I like that. That's pretty peaceful. Fiona's is blue. All right. I'm going to pause and maybe Miss Haley will continue the hula hooping. And then maybe we can sing a little song. I'm going to catch my breath. Ooh, we can breathe deep together to catch breath. Deep breath. Yeah, Haley. So let's sing. We can sing this song, Every Little Cell. We sang this a little bit when we were all virtual. So this song, I'll just sing it, and then you can sing it back to me. Deal? All right. So it starts, every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Awesome! Woo! All right, everyone, may you be happy and may you be well and may you be safe. May we all be happy and well and safe together. And kiddos, we can all head downstairs and we're going to do some art today. And we're going to keep our circle of safety around us. And if you want to see this weighted heavy hula hoop when we go down, you can. Thank you all.
And thank you, Aubrey. So this week, not just getting ready to come here, my house inspection was Thursday, so I was back in Iowa from Wednesday night to Thursday because somebody has to turn on the water and off the water, and we don't trust the inspector to do that. It's just a thing, which is also good because he also left 4 lights on in my house. Like, he's like, oh, I turned them all off. I'm like, no, you didn't. But that's just how things go. And because we are very detail-oriented in my family, we went one piece after the next, and we found them all. And then we got it back yesterday when I was supposed to be finishing all of my words and getting ready to see all of you that I'm so excited because it's been a few weeks. And instead, we dropped everything to go see our house because they said a couple things were wrong that actually weren't. So for all of the great adventures that we're only going to do once, my kids got to spend 5 hours in the car yesterday because my husband drove, and then I drove, and then he drove back, and I didn't. It's been a blast, let me tell you. So life is what happens when I was busy making other plans. Because I didn't plan to be here for my house yesterday, I planned to be finishing this. I finished it, don't worry, I started way in advance. But it's just interesting when you get that one last go through. Instead, I did it this morning. It's fine. So because we're only going to live once, we have to roll with things going differently when we don't. Like, we're not a PowerPoint today, it's not a big deal, right? It's not. This isn't a choose your own adventure. And I love choose your own adventures because you get to the end that you hate, you can go back and find one you like. It's not like some of those novels where you're so invested and you get to the last chapter and you're like, you did what? Because we've all had those books. Okay. So when we do have that choose your own adventure, we get to go back, we get to try all of them if we want, whether it's a great ending or a bad ending or just kind of like, I don't know what you did there, but I'm here anyway. We only get one chance. So that one thing that's going to lead us onward, it's going to be different for each of us. We value the search for truth and meaning here, and we have to recognize that every single one of us is going to have our own opinion of what that is, and it's truth for us. In preparation, I was looking at Maslow's hierarchy, a pyramid you may have learned in school for psychology too, and they said you had to learn things in a certain order, and you have to do these specifically. And the first, you have to have your physiological needs first, then your safety, then belonging and love, then esteem, and then self-fulfillment. It's designed to show us that there's only one path to be the best person we can be. But there's always a but, right? It raises questions about the people who don't fit in it. The people who reject certain basic needs and go on to be fulfilled anyway. The people who have all of the base filled and don't get there. So I also started asking different questions like, hey, this study was done in 1943, and it was based on white men who were educated at that time in America. It doesn't translate necessarily to other cultures. It doesn't necessarily translate to who we are now. But it was a theory. It's not terrible, but it doesn't mean it's the only path. And that's part of what leads me on the journey, is knowing that one path isn't the same for everyone. I cannot talk today. It's going to be a beautiful day. Whew. I lived in the Quad Cities for 9 years and 1 month. This is part of my journey. I have never lived in a single place longer. Never. And that'll tell you something, that I'm in my 40s and I still have not lived 10 years in one single area. So my choice of adventure has led me away, except I do visit. I'm here again, okay? I will be here again. I tell all of my friends I'll see you soon, because I can't just say goodbye. That is not in me. I love to say I'll see you soon. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but I will see you. My adventure has always led me to learn different things, to go different places. I meet fascinating people, and I love it. But I struggle with some of these changes because I left behind a lot of community here, and I do miss you. I have averaged back here at least once a week to try to wrap things up. We're not there yet, but hopefully that house will close soon. And it's a 2.5-hour drive if you don't stop. But almost all the times I have kids, so you can guarantee that I have to stop. And so I look at all of you, and I know some of you have lived here a lot longer. Some of you have spent most of your lives here. That makes your journey different. It makes you looking at what I'm doing with this whole, hey, peace out, I'll see you later on my extended vacation, and I'm moving to a different state. Something different. But there came a moment, and Phil got his brand new license plates, and they said Scott County. And we looked at each other and like, when are we going to move? Not if, when. Because it seems like for as long as we lived in Iowa, as soon as he got plates that matched the county we lived in, we were on our way out. I don't know how that has always worked out, but that has worked. Not me, just him, okay? My license plate actually still says Scott County. And we didn't think a lot about what that change might be. He said, hey, you want to go to Madison? And I just looked at him like, do you like the job? Do you love what you're going to do? Are you going to miss what you were doing before? And when he talked about it, I could feel that excitement coming. And so I said, yeah, let's do this. I want him to be happy in what he does. He's always been a workaholic. He probably always will be. He's going to drive me nuts when he retires. However, that excitement of being happy for a job, it's worth it. And I was so glad my mother took the point very well since she didn't go with us to Madison. She said, well, you could be moving to Germany. Well, thanks, Mom. It's a lot easier to visit from where I am. And in that part of only living once, I know I have lost friends and family young enough that idea that my life is an adventure, your life is an adventure, has stuck with me really hard. It made a big impact. And I remember it's a privilege to become old. We have no guarantees. There's no way that we know we're gonna be here. And it is hard to remember that every day, to wake up and say, what is my adventure? My mother told me all through growing up, our relatives don't live past 50. And I tell you, I'm staring 50 in the face pretty quick. Not quite, I got a few years, but it's there. And so I look at that and go, all right, but I still have her. She tried to set me up with other parental figures. They've actually all died by now. I know, it's funny. She thought she would be the first gone. She's the last one standing. And I will treasure every day I have with her. These plans always look so great on paper, but they don't turn out the way we planned. We have to have a plan. We have to have a direction. But we can't be afraid to let go and do other things. So a fun fact, I used to be terrified to get up in front of people and speak. Terrified. I would practice, I would try all the tricks that people would tell me how to do, and nothing seemed to work for years. And then one day, it changed. I don't know exactly what it was, but I'm pretty happy it did. 3 of the 4 jobs that I had before I left, because I had 4 jobs living here, plus all the stuff I did here, 3 of them were getting up in front of people, talking, sharing things, doing things. And I loved this. This made me happy. I love teaching, coaching, all of these things. And if I was still afraid to get up in front of people, I would not be here right now. Just saying. This was a volunteering position. So these things that hold us back, they don't have to be unreasonable. It's a good thing to wear a hot pad on your hand to take things out of the oven. But at some point, when fear holds us back from a normal life, from doing the things that we love and enjoy, we have to let it go. At what point do we allow ourselves to stop moving forward and not really live because of possible consequences that have very small chance of happening? And I'm trying to teach this to my daughter because it's very hard. And she's like, oh my gosh, I touched my eyeball. Can you see something in my eye? I'm like, I see your eye. We're still working on this one. Hopefully we'll get her there. And that might be in how some of us are weird, that we look at these tiny circumstances as if they have to come true. I know there are people who play the lottery just in case they win. And we look at these statistics. If you do win, you're more likely to be poorer 4 years later than if you didn't play. So speaking of the lottery and how we're wired, I would like you to give your money to a better source and give it to the UUCQC. You will be richer because we've invested in the community around us. And we have offertory music, and it is number 2, Adagia Cantabile by Ludwig van Beethoven. we have one joy today, or sorrow. I can't even read it. It's from Christy. It's like, please hold one of our teachers in your thoughts as she's in a dire health crisis. And I will share my joy again that I am here and that we are all together, because that is something we also need to celebrate, that we can just have that chance, even if it's not necessarily the way we would love it to be. And special music is moment of silence. Let's try that moment of silence. How about that? Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Settle back in your chair. Allow that breath to come down into your belly. Connect your feet into the floor. Connect your legs to the chair and the back, through the back of your chair. Have that moment to breathe. It is okay to just be right here and right now with the joys and sorrows we hold in our own hearts, with all of the things that make us individual and worthy of dignity and respect. And just breathe. For all that you've shared, for all that you keep in the silent sanctuary of your heart. Be happy, be healthy, and I'm glad you're here. We do have special music, and it is This Is the Moment from Jekyll and Hyde by Frank Wildam. Soloist is David Baxter.
This is the moment, this is the day, when I send all my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. This is the moment, this is the time, when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, this precious chance. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the dreaming, scheming, and screaming become one. This is the day, see it sparkle and shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. For all these years I faced the world alone, but now the time has come to prove to them I've made it on my own. This is the moment, damn all the odds. This day or never, I'll sit forever with the gods. When I look back, I will always recall that moment for moment. This was the moment, the greatest moment of them all.
I love the music here. It's always fun to come and listen and just find something new. So I'm talking about only living once. I've talked a lot through this pandemic about balancing your mental and physical health because it's a balance. You can't just do one. And it doesn't mean that all of us can just do one thing because we are all different and we all do things differently. I have struggled through this relocation of letting go of jobs I love and finding a new purpose on the other side. I figured out within about a week that I don't just want to take my kids to the pool in our apartment complex every day because that's what I usually do, but I need more. So when I figured this out, I got a new library card and my new driver's license. And suddenly I'm like, yeah, I live in Wisconsin now. Like, this is new. I have to figure this out. But I'm a little more grounded, and it's helped me make a few new friends. So this is good. Moving on my way. I have to find that new balance, whatever it is, wherever it's going to take me. And we started looking for gyms for my daughter because if she doesn't have gymnastics, she's not grounded. And so while I was watching this week, there was a great sign on the wall that said, keep 1 cartwheel's distance apart. Yeah. So all of you who can still do cartwheels, let's do it that way, okay? Just me? Okay. Thanks, guys. But it helped me find my perspective in this move, and it's helped me find what I need going forward. One of my yoga mentors told me that the truth of the experience ends at your senses. He's right, even though it just took a while for me to really understand it. What we perceive around us has been filtered through how we perceive it in our senses. We can't know for certain what the truth is, ever. We just do our best. So like the blind men feeling an elephant, we can't know that it might not be a rope or a tree, a wall, a spear, a snake. We only see that part that's in front of us. And so if we all come up with one answer, we probably have just the same part. Somebody else with a different answer has seen it from a different perspective. And that's one reason we like to be so open. So none of us lived through the last pandemic. Most of us can't point to someone who lived through the last one to see how it happened with them and how they were affected by this. We just do our best with the information we still have, with what we are building and learning through science and trying to figure out. It's why it's so important to look not just from our one spot, but from different places. And so we don't just think it's an endless wall without an end. Some days it feels that way. We learn when we're in school that we're going to graduate. We often get jobs thinking we'll retire, that we have these beginning and end set points. But it doesn't always work that way. This pandemic is not going to have an end point. We're not just going to say, hey, guess what? Tomorrow we finished. We completed it. We graduated. Right? I wish. Please, give me the genie. That would be one of my wishes, that it was done yesterday. Okay? I haven't found the genie yet, but when I do, we look at these things for work, for learning, as finite, but relationships is also infinite. We're best friends forever. That marriage will last till death do us part. Sometimes we're wrong there too, even though we don't want to be. So what we chose to look at as finite and infinite, that shapes who we are too. I try to tell some of my friends, like, we're walking on a path together. Sometimes it may split. Some days it comes back together. I can't see the future. But sometimes I just take notice in that, like saying, I don't know how to connect with this person right now, but maybe I will in another day, another spot, something different. Leave it open. I wish I could just have a party and say, hey, life's back to normal. But we struggle with these questions like, when is the time we figure out how to responsibly gather again? I know we're all trying. It is hard. I know I like to say, I'm vaccinated. That's got to mean something, right? It helps. I know a lot of you are too. It's been our joy for so many months to get there. But because we haven't been responsibly gathering for so long, some of our children, they've gotten a little feral. I know some of us have forgotten how to give hugs or handshakes. It's really weird when I go into the gym and I go to handshake that new coach of my daughters, and they look at me and they're like, oh yeah, we can do this now. We can do this now. We're trying. But it's really hard when we had so much of that contact before and then it was gone, and we don't know how to get back. So in that balance, I know I've been told several times this is a congregation of introverts, but I know I am an extrovert. You guys never would have guessed. And I know there's others in this space as well. And I know that all of us can find here what we're looking for, but not if you're only looking for one thing. So if I look and pretend that all of you are introverts, that would also be pretending I'm an introvert. I don't know how well I can pretend on that, but I can try. No, I can't. But we won't see the same things as if we go into people and say, hi, how are you? Who are you? Let's get to know each other. Because it's not simply a switch. There's a spectrum, and we all fit in different spots on it. So I like to keep my heart open as well as my eyes to see what's really here. And hopefully I won't just see a wall. So in this change that we are coming to, because at some point we do gather, our building is open. We are trying to be here responsibly, always responsibly. And we make our decisions from different perspectives, all of us. Even though most of us are trying to follow science, sometimes we pull from one thing and not another. And it's hard to look at the pieces that don't agree with the things that we like. I know. I try it, then I get mad, and then I try it again because I know I'm going to learn something. That was also a thing from yoga, is the things that you hate are the ones you have the most to learn from. They were talking about poses like back bends, but it also works for looking for the other point of view, for someone who completely disagrees with you. So while I expect people and leaders to be thoughtful and use data and science to make decisions, we also have to look at our community and do what we can to preserve it, to keep it going, and to make it the best we can with what we have. I always hope level heads will prevail and find the wisdom to lead us onward. However, our leaders in this congregation are picked by a committee, and they always run unopposed. It's interesting. I'm not sure why we have elections, because we don't even require a certain number of votes. If you're picked by the committee, you will be in. There's no democratic process. Some people are required to lead committees to be vetted, and some of them aren't asked to do that or are appointed through whatever. And it feels like there's a few families here who volunteer all of their time, all of their efforts, and we're hoping someone's there to replace them when they burn out. And I struggle with that. We have to do better. Because I'm only living once, and if I give all of my time here, I did for a while, and I miss you guys. But then what do I have when I had to leave? What are you guys left with when it's not one person or 3 families holding all of us together? So there's no way to live safely. There are no guarantees. Even if we do our best, there are going to be places where we have to take risks. It's what life is all about. We always learn more from our failures than our successes. So there's 2 things that we're sure of, right? We're going to die and we're going to pay taxes. My mother is also a CPA, so I learned a lot about taxes, and there's a lot of loopholes. So I'm not sure that everybody pays taxes, but I am sure that death will come for all of us. And I'm not sure when. And sometimes that's a good thing, because if I knew, that would lead me to a whole different direction. So the obstacles and challenges in front of you, there are risks and rewards. Everyone is going to choose differently from what we see. And that is what makes us all human, and it's what makes us all beautiful. So I want you all to go and live without regrets, to make those choices to be whoever you're going to be, even if it's completely opposite of who I am. Because I can respect it, I can find beauty in it, as long as you're living with your values. We never get the time back, we never get a do-over, but we do get right now. And I am so grateful to be up here with all of you today. I think it's closing hymn, then closing words. So our closing hymn is 1057, Go Lift It Up. We'll sing it twice.
Go lift it up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day. Go lift it up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
So our closing words are from Carrie Fisher. She said, "Stay afraid, but do it anyway. What's important is the action. You don't have to wait to be confident. Just do it, and eventually the confidence will follow." And I always hope that leads me and you through not just life, but through all of your interactions, all of your communities, and all of the things that you find important. And that when things don't go the way you plan them out on paper, that you read it with a laugh and just keep going. Thank you all so much. Your postlude is Do What You Gotta Do by Jack Kugel, Hannah Jones, and Matt Wong.